Enough. The news in 2024 is nothing but bad, and it's coming from every angle at a rapid-fire tempo. Hardly anything is celebrated anymore, and when it is celebrated, it makes you the villain. I can't take it anymore. No. Take me back. All the way back to a time called 1973, when at least bad news travels slower. When I found this 1973 Gibson EB-0 bass guitar at my local hangout recently, I remember times less stressful and depressing. Sure, my existence only began 20 years after 1973, but still, you get the point. Anyway, just like that Les Paul recording from a few weeks ago, it was hanging on its hanger, but unhindered by its lock. And I was especially intrigued by these black flat-wound strings that graced its fingerboard. I knew I had to give it a try. I found an amplifier, busted out my tuner, and tuned it up. That was when I realized these tuners were reverse ratioed. That means clockwise tunes the string up, while counterclockwise tunes it down, contrary to what you might expect. As I started tuning, I was definitely thrown through a loop. But once I determined that, it was smooth sailing on these black flat-wound strings. If you remember all the knobs and switches from that Les Paul recording, the EB-0 has a refreshingly simple layout of just one pickup, one volume knob, one tone knob, and an output jack. The pickup is one of Gibson's famous mud buckers that was on most of their basses, throughout the 60s, 70s, and even today with the modern SG bass, and the simplistic bridge was hidden underneath this equally simplistic ashtray cover. I thought that was smooth, and I turned down the tone knob. Very mellow, leaning closer to a cello or an upright contrabass. The EB-0 is equally responsive to both fingerstyle and pick-style playing. I imagine it will work great as a slap bass as well, but my slapping skills are pretty much non-existent, so unfortunately I couldn't test that theory out. Though regardless, I found myself quite smitten with this bass. Through some internet research, I determined the EB-0 was actually the shorter-scaled SG-style bass Gibson made compared to the EB-3, which was a full-scale. The EB-3 also differed from the EB-0 in the fact that it had 2 pickups and 4 knobs, and a baritone switch for different tones. While I do believe in variety is the spice of life, I found myself rather satisfied with the simple but versatile sound of the EB-0. I sat there playing a few of my favorite bass lines. The feeling of simplicity came back in fold. I realized this is one of those years. Sure, September has only begun, but things are about to get turbulent come November. Once those leaves settle, we will have a new king, perhaps a new queen. We don't know who, however, but we know when. All we can do until then is hold on tight and remember happier times.